Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at Jason's deck list. So he's going to be playing Esper Doom Foretold. Danny, I know that you've created a few of these decks. Why don't you talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, especially this deck list is probably the one I built together with him yesterday. It's kind of funny. Yeah, so this is a classic Esper Doom Foretold list with all the indicators, with Doom Foretols, Dance of Demand, the Yorion, the Blink cards. What makes this deck interesting is that Jason runs 2 negate the main, which is something you do not see usually in the Esper Doom Foretold list.
Right.
Many people just don't have counters in the main, but here we're going to see 2. He plays a heavy removal deck. He prefers this because he really wants to prepare for Gruul matchups, and removal also work really great against the Rogue matchup.
Absolutely. Now we're going to take a look at Corey's deck, he's the only one who registered this deck. It is a Band Control Yorion deck, so he's got Yorion as his companion, and there's a lot going on with this deck, a lot of blinking, a lot of big creatures, a lot of big plays, and it's going to be a really interesting matchup.
Yeah, I mean, this deck, so Corey loves Yorion. This is just something he really likes to play, and this is a really interesting list. It's a banned Yorion list, something you don't see a lot recently. It has all the key cards as well, with Elspeth's Conquer Staff, Cascades, Yorion, but it also has some food component, even though there's not too much food component. You have Trails and Wicked Wolf, which you can blink also really well to get advantage on the battlefield.
Absolutely. I'm just looking forward to seeing that Dream Trawler in play and how Jason's actually going to deal with that. I guess Doom Foretold easily takes care of that. All right. So it looks like they're just getting their matches up right now.
Okay, so let's see. So we got a hand here for Jason, which is a good hand. He has 4 lands and all cards are kind of playable. This is a clear keep for Jason here. On the other hand, we have Corey with 2 lands, but at Trails. Corey probably not so happy, but has the Scry, so he keeps it as well.
And there's that Dream Trawler. And Elder Gargaroth! So he's got some big boys in his hand.
Yeah, really expensive cards. Not easy to play them yet. Definitely needs to find the lands. Well, Jason just can go back, just play their cards, wait for the Doom, and that's all he wants to do right now.
Right. Ooh, getting that land. Playing his Trellicrums to help with his card draw. Smart.
Yep, definitely. So definitely found a land here. Still no white though. Has 2 cards with double white and another white card on hand. So we're probably going to see either Trails activation or Yorion there. Found the white here. That's huge.
Ooh, that was such a good top deck. Very lucky on his part. And there we go with the Omen of the Sea to draw a card and scry.
Finds a Skyclave Operation here, has one on hand, thinking if he wants to keep a second one just to deal with Trails, because we're most likely going to see a Skyclave Operation on the Trails, because we want to make sure that they don't keep their card engine on the battlefield, and this is what we see here.
And he went ahead and bottomed that second Indath the Triumph, and then he drew it again anyway.
This is how it works. This is how it works. It's called the Scry bug. Everyone who plays MTG Arena knows this, but yeah, it just happened. So he's thinking if he should go for the Scryland, but I'm pretty sure he will play the Skyclave Operation here. You kind of need to deal with these Trails right now, otherwise there will be too much value later on in the game. And yeah, this is what we're going to see here.
And Corey going ahead and making it so that he can, use that trail before it is gone forever.
Jason looks really focused. He's like in the zone. And yeah, that's the Jason. On a tournament, he's always in the zone. So here, Corey looking for a card. Yeah, you have to react on this Skyclave Operation here for sure. But I'm pretty sure he is happy with getting rid of Trail at this point.
Oh, absolutely. A preemptive good game.
Oh, we love to see the banter here. We love to see the banter. I know there are people who don't like the emotes, but these are 2 friends playing against each other. They definitely have to do this here.
And with a history like they have between these 2, it just makes it extra fun for both of them.
Yeah, it all started in the Pro Tour Hollywood 2008. So yeah, it's definitely a while ago, and it's just fun to see them play here again after 12 years. So here's something
Ooh,
interesting.
playing that glass casket on the Skyclave apparition to get that 2/2 token.
This is really interesting because against Doom, if you glass casket the operation, if you manage to get rid of the casket, you get the ETP trigger again from the Skyclave, and you can get rid of another card. So this is really good for Jason, I think. The casket is a kind of awkward card to play into Doom, but yeah, there was no double white, so you just want to get rid of it.
So now it's back to Corey, who seems to be getting a lot of land at this point. He'll be able to play his Gargaroth if he wants to this point, but who knows if he'll actually do that.
Yeah, he found a second white here, which is huge for him. He definitely needs that. He has the mana for Dream Troll as well, so at this point, all Corey wants to do is just play permanent as much as you can to make sure if there's a Doom Foretold, you have things to sacrifice, so your Gargaroth and your Dream Troller are safe. But you have to
And
worry
Jason
for
does
Elfra.
have that Doom Foretold in hand, so he could easily play it this turn to start getting rid of those permanents. But
Yeah,
Jason also doesn't have a whole lot of permanents, and he may lose that Doom Foretold himself pretty quickly.
yeah, this is a really tricky spot for Jason here. He has like two options. He can go for the Skyclave Apparition to get rid of the casket, which is not really what you want to do here. If you play Doom Foretold, you can get it started. I think it's most likely the right choice. You can also go for Blessing and draw 3 cards, but then you have to discard many cards here. Yorion is also an option. But that Elgar Gargaroth is a problem because you know there will be an attack activation on the Elgar Gargaroth, because even if opponent gets rid of the casket, it doesn't matter too much because the operation doesn't have a target, and he chooses to go for Doom here.
Going with that Doom Foretold. And Corey will either have to choose that Gargaroth or Glass Casket, and if he chooses Casket, he's going to lose Gargaroth anyway.
No, because the Gargaroth has five
Oh, that's right.
mana. Yeah, so
That's
that's
right.
the thing. That's the problem here. So Corey played this really smart here, and now he knows there's a Doom, right? So next card he needs to sacrifice at the current point is Elder Gargaroth. So do you play Omen, get Yorion, or do you play Omen and Skyclave? And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a Skyclave plus Omen here to get rid of the Doom Foretold, and then you can attack with Gargaroth probably 1 or 2 turns more. Takes time to think here.
It's always interesting to see. There's so many different plays they could do right here, so many different options, and they're all viable options. It's just a matter of, what will give them the best payoff.
Definitely. So decides to attack first. Wants to get the creature here. Just to make sure we're gonna see the blocks of Jason, so you can see if the Doom Foretold is a threat or not. If Jason decides to block, because if he blocks, there will be 1 less permanent on the field, and I think that's the decision of attacking here first. Wow. Okay, that's okay. If Corey
It's a lot
goes
of
here,
damage.
yeah. If Corey goes for the Dream Troller.
Oh, and there's that trawler. Oh, here we go.
Wow, that's an interesting play here. So the thing is, if Jason finds a removal spell for Elder Gargaroth, Corey loses both creatures. This is a really bold move to do. I'm impressed. So Corey's like, no, you don't have it. That's an incredible read, to be honest. Yeah, now Jason really needs to think how he's gonna find a removal here. But on the other hand, we saw in Jason's list there are at least 9 spot removal cards in the deck. So yeah, that's a bold move from Corey here for sure.
And Jason just trying to decide which card that he's actually going to sacrifice to Doom Foretold. He's debating whether to get rid of that Skyclave, which he could use as a blocker, or he went with the Omen. Ooh, and then he drew another land.
So this is a really spicy turn. So in Jason's mind, he's like, I need to find this spot removal and have a Treacherous Blessing on my hand, so I can draw 3 cards. This is the point where you need to find the cards. But on the other hand, Corey has an Omen of the Sea on the hand, so Corey can actually upkeep the Omen of the Sea in, and Troller would still survive. This is a really smart play from Corey there, and Jason doesn't know about the Omen. This is going to be really tricky for Jason here.
So he's going
So
with that Treacherous Blessing. He's going to take the risk of trying to find that spot removal, taking the ping that he's going to get for any spells that. Oh, that.
not happy. Jason is not
Not
happy here.
the cards he was looking for.
Yeah, didn't find the spot removal. Definitely not what he was looking for.
He
But
can
yeah,
he can definitely do the Skyclave Apparition and get rid of one of the tokens.
you cannot get rid of the tokens. Sadly, if the Skyclave Apparition,
Oh,
that's why
that's
you need
right.
Glass Casket. So Skyclave Apparition came in here just to have an additional sacrifice outlet for the Doom. And here we saw the Omen, and that Jason knew, like, even if I found the spot removal here, the Omen would have conquered my plans. The game is not over here, but this is a lot of damage coming in here. We got a Troll attacking with no blocks available, and Jason goes
Oh,
out.
and Jason goes ahead and concedes that first match, knowing that the Trawler and the Gargaroth on the board at the same time is just a lot, especially with a handful of lands.
Yeah, I really like Corey's list here. It feels like he's kind of target also the Esper list. Now Jason needs to think, how do I deal with Trawler? And I'm pretty sure they try to, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's trying to put in the Extinction events because this is the card you need to deal with Trawler. Also, the Dispute could be a possibility to deal with Trawler and with other threats as well. So thinking of Disputes and Counterspell here is definitely something you also want to do.
Absolutely. So he's hovering over that negate, debating whether he wants to put any more of those in his deck since he's still got those two from main deck.
Yep.
Taking out the Glass Caskets, taking out the Eliminates.
Yep. Yeah, those are the cards you're definitely going to take out. The Glass Cats are kind of awkward in the matchup because many cards have ETP triggers. So
Exactly.
if the Glass Castle goes away, it doesn't help you too much. So I think there will be a dispute or one or two for the main deck, but we already have two negates in the main deck. You want some answer for Trawler. There are not too many blue threats though, but there's still Yorion, and you kind of know opponent's going to board in the disputes.
Right.
So
And looks like Corey has those wilts moved from his sideboard into his deck to get rid of those Doom Foretold's even easier.
yeah, so here we see the disputes going in for Jason here, just to make sure he has another additional way to deal with some of the blue cards from Corey, and Corey has the disputes as well. So here we see a bit of counterspell action, but I agree with Jason's choice here. I would do the same. It looks really solid, and yeah, it's going to be a great second match. Dream Trawler won the game there.
As I predicted.
You predicted, correct, yeah.
It's
Sometimes
just
you need
such
to
a
find the
hard
cards.
card to work around.
Yeah,
Unless you
especially
have mass removal, not spot removal.
yeah, especially if the main list of Jason, there was no real answer, and you really have to go for the Doom setup, but there was no way, as we saw, too many permanents.
Exactly. I would also just like to point out that I am a fan of Corey Baumeister's in-game name, Dropping Bombs. I
Always
approve.
dropping bombs. Yeah, always dropping bombs.
All right, we get to see the opening hands here. Jason, he's got some removal. He's got the Apparition, decent land array.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good. Yeah. And then Corey looks like he kept a hand with the Wilt, the Wolf, Apparition.
Boy,
so he went with a lot of removal as well.
Also, you're going to see a hard decision here. I think you have the bottom Omen here. You don't have a blue land on hand, right? You would love to have the Omen. It's going to keep the Omen here, believing in the blue mana here. And Corey kept the two-lander. Basically, he had one land plus Amira's Call. The land is Scry. Definitely keep there. Now it's fishing for green land. Last time it was white land.
All right, playing that Triome and passing the turn back to Corey, who it looks like he did not get a third land yet. He does have that Amaria's Call that he could use as a third land, but never what we really want to do.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to cycle the Wilt just to make sure to find the green here. And here we see the cycle of Wilt because we really want to find the green lands. And there we go.
Oh, he got it.
Yeah,
that is only huge. Because of cycling that land.
That is huge. Getting an additional land in play here and on hand to make sure you have the ability to cast all your spell. I'm going to see probably a green and a white here. Yeah, here's a green and a white. Just to make sure you have access to Wicked Wolf and Amira's Call and all the double white mana cards.
So it looks like Jason missed his fourth land drop. He's going to go ahead Well, he thought about playing Skyclave, but
It's a
there's
tough
not
spot.
anything for Skyclave to exile.
That's a really tough spot here. You missed the blue lands, and keeping the Omen there was maybe a bit greedy, but sometimes you have to do it. You have two Skyclave aberrations, no target, so you just play it, so you have something at least if there's a Doom later on. And yeah, Corey found another wild here, which is huge. Which is
That's really
huge.
good. So Corey could do the Wicked Wolf here and easily kill the apparition. Um,
Yep.
but he might just let it hang out on the board for a bit. It's also possible that he could play his second planes and play his Elspeth Conquers Death, but that's not necessarily the best value for that card right now.
Yeah, you have so many options here. You can go Skyclave or the Skyclave. You can have Wild cycling ability again, but this time you probably want to keep Wild. You also can just take Yorion in your hand. Using the Wolf here to get rid of an operation seems a bit weaker than usual, but it depends if you want a double spell or just one spell this turn. He knows that Jason missed a land drop and has no blue, which is huge information here. This makes it way easier. So you know you're a bit ahead here, and if you board in bigger threats now, this can give you a lead down the line. So let's see.
All right, so it looks
That's
like
why
he's
like
going with that Wicked Wolf to take out that apparition.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason here mainly is because first it's an advantage play and Jason is missing a land. Found a golden egg though.
Golden Egg counts as land, but it's not the land he needs.
Yeah, it's a color fixer, but you also get a draw. So now we need to see a blue, and we found a passage.
Oh, there we go. There's his blue.
Yeah,
And
Jason
he
definitely
immediately
happy.
cracks that. He knows he needs to be able to have that blue land out immediately.
Yeah, so here he passes to have the hardest act and the omen up. But yeah, he definitely needed that. Jason got happy with the blue mana there for sure. I have a blue
Jason is
mana
just
dance.
dancing because he got that blue mana. I approve.
Definitely approve, but Corey's smiling. He knows this is good for him so far.
Yeah,
And yeah,
Corey does not seem worried even remotely.
I think Corey cannot be worried, like just as a person. I think if you guys know Corey, he's always smiling. There's not a day where I didn't saw him just being
there
happy.
it is. There it is, Dream Trawler. And Jason does not seem happy whatsoever to see that Dream Trawler again.
Yeah, definitely not happy about it. We had a funny talk about Dream Trawler. I did like it. He doesn't like it. He will rethink his consideration after this game, I think. Corey happy to drew the the Dream Trawler there because he knows if there's no answer at that time, it's really good for him.
And Jason goes ahead and bottoms both of those cards. Neither of them would have been very helpful for his current problem.
Yeah, so you can still use the hardest act on the Dream Trawler, but the Dream Trawler can just discard a card, give the Dream Trawler hexproof, and the hardest act is not able to destroy the Dream Trawler. But you can tap the Dream Trawler to make sure opponent doesn't get too much value out of the Dream Trawler yet. But then again, it's still looking not too good. You still want to make your land drops here for Jason.
Which
That's
he
why.
missed again. So he's playing the Omen to try to find a. Oh, well, it's a land. There's two lands.
Yeah, you want to make sure you have the land. The problem is your hand doesn't look good against Dream Troll as well. So by keeping the land here, you just try to go like, okay, I hit my land drops, but I need to find my extinction event. I need to find my extinction event. And at this point, I would just maybe keep one land just to make sure I need the Dream Trawler. It's really important. Debating if keeping the Scry land on top here or not. Yeah, I think this is the way
so
I
he
would have
keeps
do
the
it as
Scry
well.
land to be able to try to Scry for that extinction event. It's really his only easy way of getting rid of the Dream Trawler.
Yeah, and
Goes
he
ahead
knows
and
there could be
bottoms
a
that
counter as
apparition.
well. So extinction event technically is not an out for sure for him since he doesn't know Corey's hand. But yeah, so here the question is: do you use Heartless Act on the Dream Trawler to make sure there is no draw, or do you use it on the Wolf?
So it looks like he's going to go ahead and use it on the Dream Trawler to tap it and make Corey discard a card.
Yeah, so Corey can make a decision here what he wants to discard. I mean, you're probably going to keep the Apparition and the Elspeth Conquer Staff, but the rest is really flexible. I can see discarding a land here. Seems like or maybe even a wilt, but it's probably the land. Yeah,
It's his I believe he only had 2 wilts in the deck, so it's his last wilt. So I don't know that he'll get rid of that, but he did go ahead and get rid of that scry land. Goes ahead and attacks with that Wicked Wolf for another 3 damage. Goes ahead and plays Amaria's Call as a land, and there's Yorion.
So that Yorion play has okay. So now he has an odd card on the battlefield, which makes Extinction Event even worse here in this spot. This is probably the reason why he played the Yorion, just to make sure he can keep attacking. Again, Jason just drew a negate here. It's not the card you want to see right now. I mean, you can try to go for the Yorion here just to make sure you get value and then find the cards. He's probably debating between Elspeth's Conqueror's Death and Yorion, but there's 2 mana open. Hard to say, but I think you should go for Yorion here just to make sure you find the cards. Yep,
looks like he's going for Yorion so that he at least has a blocker and to get value out of all of his enchantments on the board that he can blink.
So there was a stop, which is scary now. Like Jason has is like, please don't counter this, please don't counter this, because if there's a counter, it's going to be really, really hard to come back from this. He's slow playing this really well here. He's thinking if he should destroy one of the enchantments to deny some draws. But yeah.
Jason debating what emote prodding he wants to do to Corey. He went with Your Go.
Choose the correct one here. 100%.
Traditional one.
Yeah, I'm glad it's back. I'm really glad it's back. The Your Go is important here. And
it looks like Corey is going to go ahead and destroy one of those omens to take out some of the value of the Yorion, and responds to the Your Go with oops.
That's an interesting decision. Sure, you get to draw 1 less card, but you would have to discard a card anyways. So let's see. It's the only chance here for Jason here to find that Extinction Event.
There's another Heartless Act, another land.
It's a hard one. Because you can technically double spell if you keep this, but you need to find a land as well. That's a hard one, yeah.
He goes ahead and bottoms the Heartless Act.
Yeah. He's trying to go for
another Apparition and Doom Foretold.
Yeah,
Not
also a problem.
Quite what he needed.
A missing of lands here for Jason is really, really tricky because you cannot double spell, and there's a lot of damage coming in here.
And that ECD taking away the Yorion may have made it so Jason can't really come back, but he goes with hello instead of good game. He's not giving up.
Not giving up. So at this point, if you find an Extinction Event, you can technically get rid of 2 creatures, but not of Yorion. So he knows there's no out.
Mystical Dispute, not the card he needed even remotely. I don't think there's really any way that he could come back from this at this point. There's just too much damage on the board, and he doesn't have mass removal.
Yeah, so you have no out here. This is dead on board, and Corey should wrap this up with a 2-0 over Jason here. I'm looking forward to the trash talk, to the friendly banter, obviously. But yeah, this is it, and he's looking for the lines, but sadly, without Extinction Events, there's nothing to do. Even if
missing all those crucial land drops really put him behind, and then not drawing any of the crucial cards that he needed.
Yeah. So you can go for 3 life here, go to 5. That's one way of doing it.
Holding on. He's trying to hold on.
Yeah, but at this point, it's really hard. Yeah, so this was the game, and it looks like Corey's taking it here.
All right. And there is that concede. So the game is 2-0 to Corey Baumeister over JasonFleurant. Jason still has not gotten it against his rival.
Yeah, it was a good game though. Sadly, we saw some missing lands, but it looked really good. The deck of Corey is really nice, and I'm pretty sure he built this to target those Esper and Crew lists. I really like the take on that deck, and it's something else. So definitely deserved win here for Corey Baumeister.